What is up, guys? Good morning, good morning. Hopefully, you're all doing good. Uh, it is now Tuesday, February the 10th, and now we're gonna get right to the charts. Let's break it down quickly. So, as you can see, right now we're a bit of in a consolidation, not really the best price action for a Tuesday. We also do have some news coming in tomorrow, which is NFP, from what I can recall. It didn't happen last week, so it's happening this week. And we also have CPI on Friday, so a pretty hefty week with news related stuff. So gotta be precautious. Um, I'm looking at this gold idea right now, to be honest, in somewhat of a position here, just to see if we can hit the previous day's high. I'm not really liking the way it's moving, but this could be just in a accumulation for the next move higher. As you can see, we consolidated, formed a manipulation. We had a low of day form here within the or just before London session, and then we had this accumulation, manipulation, confirming with the two-stage reversal. We had that nice change in the state of delivery at 8:30. Now I'm anticipating a move higher. Right now, I can see why it's a little hesitant, because with gold euro right now we hit that intermediate high right here, which could be giving this a retracement back maybe to this swing point here, take out some liquidity before going higher. I personally don't want it to see it come all the way down here, because clearly that would invalidate my whole idea of this trade. But looking at the indices as well, I'm not really enjoying it just because of how just sideways we are, right? It could be we can go on both sides, right? So I'm not, that's why I'm not really trading it, just because I can mark on both sides of the range, like, right? I can predict a short idea and a long idea, so it's not something that's probable, I would say, for to trade the indices. We also have this daily IRL on YM that could possibly retrace, since YM was the weakest and we failed to close above the previous day's high, a previous day's candle. So this could easily come for a nice retracement here. We had two consecutive days of expansion, so I wouldn't really say this would be a consolidation. We could still continue going higher, but it just all depends on the price action. Like I said, NFP is tomorrow, so it's not really the best probable time to trade. Gold sometimes actually does move pretty well during these type of weeks. It doesn't really affect it, from what I've noticed, compared to the indices, which I'm not really surprised with, right? Gold does it moves on a different aspect, more of a fundamental idea. But yeah, as you can see, this is what I'm looking for right here. Like I said, if I can break it down here, we'll go on to the daily. So you could see how within the weekly time frame, okay, just make sure if I muted my mic. We had a SMT, but not just an SMT, we also had a PSP, a bullish close on this candle, while silver had a bearish close right here. So this is a strength switch right here. From silver being the leading asset, now we're anticipating gold to do leading to form the leading asset for us to continue back to all-time high. So going on to the daily time frame now, we also have this two-stage from last week, right? So the first one within the weekly candle, and then we have this we had the SMT with Friday's candle of last week. So this is your two-stage right here with a nice C2 closure on Friday, anticipating Monday to continue higher. Since we had that nice closure at that daily above that previous day's candle, we can easily come back to previous day's high and to these relative equal highs right here, which I actually didn't even notice, so that makes it even more of a high probable chance that gold can continue back up to here. So going on to our 4 hour, we are anticipating, like I mentioned, an open low high close on the daily. Same thing with the 4 hour. 4 hours, I mentioned, we had this SMT with the daily opens candle right here. Since there was no good C2 on this candle, which actually silver was the one to take it out. Let me just, yeah, and we had a C2 closure. Since we didn't get that C2 closure on gold, you want to anticipate, you want to wait for this next candle to close, which would be considered the C3, closing above this order block right here, and then anticipating the next 6 a.m. candle, the current candle right now on the 4 hour, as an open low high close for us to continue going higher. So technically a C4 back to previous day's high, and then the relative equal highs as mentioned from the daily time frame. So that is the idea here. Going on to the hourly as well, we also had this expansion, retracement, and SMT right here with silver. Going on to the 30-minute as well, we had that SMT as mentioned, but we had a PSP right here. Silver closed bearish while gold closed bullish. So this was giving me the confluences for us to see this specific reversal. Like I mentioned, we consolidated here, manipulated, taking out the orders from the early buyers here, and now we're V-shaping here. So I'm anticipating this, like I said, this 4 hour C4, a C3 on the hourly, and then a continuation higher on this on the 30-minute right here. As you can see, I want to see us close above these down close candles. Same thing with the hourly. If we're able to close above this down close candle, that just shows strength for us to willing to continue going higher. If we just start to consolidate, then I wouldn't really like it, especially if we start to reject and now start failing to break these swing points here. Then I wouldn't really want to trade it. But we'll see what 930 does, if it gives us a driver for the move higher here. But personally, I'm not really, I would like to see this. I don't want it to be consolidating here, to be honest. It's not really something that I would prefer to see. So if this is willing to go higher, then we would want to see this starting to expand here. Since we already retraced, we should start expanding. And I'm actually watching gold euro, because since this is the one that was able to take out the high here, this intermediate high here, I did want to see if this was going to manipulate or fail to manipulate. So right now we just took out this low right here. So I personally want to see how we can reverse and to continue going higher, which will give me the idea of gold to continue higher as well. Right now everything's moving sideways right now, so I'm not really I don't really like it, to be honest, but we're just gonna have to let it play out. I'm really tempted to move my stop loss here at this swing point here, to be honest, just in case it does fail. I would leave with a smaller loss compared to me just leaving it here. To be honest, I'm just a little worried that 930 will wick down one more time and then expand, so that's why I don't really want to move my stop loss just yet, because during an accumulation phase, you wanna be a little careful, especially because sometimes it can even wick lower. It can just be generating liquidity on both sides, right? So if you have a bullish bias, you'll most likely see a wick lower to go higher, right? Since we had the reversal here, and this could be the second stage accumulation phase within the market maker buy model, right? The start of a market maker buy model, since we had an consolidation, manipulation, and then now we're just distributing higher here. So yeah, that's just the breakdown right now. We'll just wait and see. We'll give it till 9:30. If we take this loss, then it's all good. To be honest, if we take this loss, I might just end it, just because I don't want to really engage in price, especially because there's news tomorrow. Like I said, this is not really the best. I would have already seen this, I would have already wanted to see this expand, to be honest, knowing gold. But yeah, same thing with the indices here. You can just see how it's just on the 4 hour, it's just consolidating here, not really doing much. So I'd rather not really engage, since I don't really have a confirmed bias on what it wants to do. Like I said, we are just coming back within the range here, within this down move. So this could be possibly a reversal signature, since we are in a premium here. Yeah, we're already above a premium, so this could be it could be rejecting the volume imbalance right here, or we can start going higher back to this up close candle, to get a better like premium, to get into a deeper premium. But again, I'm not really too sure, so it's I'll just rather stay on the sidelines. Like I said, gold just gave me the better idea. Like I said, I broke it down and it made sense to me, and hopefully it made sense to you guys. So once that makes sense, then clearly we shouldn't be worried about not engaging if everything came to play to what we wanted to see. So other than that, it's just now letting the market just do its thing and just letting structure communicate with you on what price it wants to do, right? Like I said, right now I feel like we're just accumulating here. So that's just something that you want to patiently be waiting. We have about 15 minutes till the open, so hopefully we can start seeing some expansion here. I would really like to see that happen, and then 9:30 we can maybe just most likely expand higher back to that draw, which would be great, and a good way to end the day, to be honest, the trading session. Let me just move this here. I'll make this a bigger line just for us to see it. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense, guys. Not really too complex. Like I said, I do the same thing every single day, so it shouldn't be really difficult not to understand. Like I said, from the daily time frame, well, we did weekly, but same thing, daily, weekly, and then breaking it down from the 4 hour to the 1 hour 30 minute, and then from there you can get into your 3 to 5 minute entry time frames, and then see where you can enter from there. Sorry. Nice expansion so far. So now we're breaking that SMT here that I mentioned earlier with gold euro. So you want to now, so that SMT is now invalidated, so in a way it doesn't really matter now. So now we can start seeing everything expand here, euro following gold, and then most likely silver, which is the weakest, to start catching up. But great expansion here, as you can see. So good so far. Like I said, once we start seeing 9:30, I would want to see 9:30 just continue that drive up higher. With this, to be honest, now I would move my stop loss to the current low right here, just because of this expansion here, because clearly after this I don't want to see it fully reverse, and that makes no sense at all. So we'll do this here. We'll do that right there. We'll write it down like that. So yeah, like I said, everything just basically playing out to what we want to see. Nothing, nothing too difficult. Nothing too like not to understand. But I mean, like, other than that, guys, it's just very basic things. It's just once you start doing what you want to see every day, like breaking it down for the price action that you specifically want to see every single day, from the daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, and so forth. It becomes very easy at that point, just because, you know, like, I think just the only thing that you gotta have to understand is just being able to tell yourself not to when not to trade. Like I said, I decided not to trade the indices because of just of me not being able to get a good bias. I was able to determine like two types of bias, short and long. So I'd rather not. It's more low probability. Think of it like poker, you know what I mean? When you have a bad hand or like a good hand, you got to really just tell yourself, you know, like, I'll just fold this time, you know, whatever. There's always going to be better opportunities, better hands, right? Same thing with this, right? So not saying that it's just straight gambling, because I don't consider this gambling at all. This is like high in probability, just technical, where I just look at it. If it makes sense to me, it'll make sense. You know, it's only two ways that this can go, right? Well, three ways: sideways, up, or down, right? So it's just getting in line with the specific candles that you want to start seeing expand, right? Like I said, this was an expansion because clearly we were anticipating a C3, was it a C3? Yeah, C3 4-hour candle right here, C4, sorry, and then a C3, sorry, yeah, no, 3, yeah, C4, C3, 1 hourly candle, right? So once all these time frames start aligning with the expansion that you want to see, it just makes it much easier to get align with these candles, right? And once you align with these candles, you start seeing these type of aggressions, right? Yeah, you don't want to be trading this type of stuff, right? Where you're stuck into this, right? That's where you have to really understand price on what it's doing after, like, see how London took out this specific high here. After that, you have to understand what is it doing now? What's the new phase of price? Are we going to retrace? Are we going to continue expanding? Or are we just going to consolidate, right? So it's a whole new phase of price, manipulation right here, V shape, and then the continuation higher, right? So AMD, right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. To be honest, I might go break even. It would be honest with you. It wouldn't make sense for us to retrace all the way back here. It's one of those days before the high impact news, guys, where everything becomes a little bit more low probability, right? Like I said, gold, it's a little different. Gold actually does move properly still during these type of high impact news from what I've seen, but it could still be it could still move like tricky. It could be very tricky still, you know what I mean? So to protect my capital, I'd rather just go break even, right? And just accept the consequences, I would say, with the market conditions, right? I wouldn't really do this on a normal day. I would personally wait. Well, this is actually not bad. I would actually move it right here, which I already had. But just because we expanded so high, I wouldn't want this to fully come back all the way back to my entry, right? That wouldn't just make sense at all. Just seeing how all of these assets are now expanding, it wouldn't make sense. To be honest, gold is the strength leader right now, as I mentioned earlier. So this should be the least of a retracement to continue going higher. If anything, silver should be the one to retrace deeper compared to gold and gold euro here. So yeah, we have about just under 10 minutes left for the new 30 for the 30 the open to for the new 30-minute, which is the New York Open. So once we see that, I would want to see that expansion candle just continue going higher with the 930 driver. Yep. Other than that, I'm hoping that these videos are very helpful for you guys. Like I said, if you guys do enjoy the videos that I do with the live streams, make sure you subscribe and give a like. You know, it shows that people are actually watching what I do, and it motivates me to keep pushing. I know someone asked about how I break everything down specifically from like time frame to time frame. I can definitely try to make a video of that, but if you guys go through my videos, I break it down like from the daily 4-hour, 1 hour, 30-minute, and then my entry time frames at the 3, 5. So it's the same thing, guys. You know, if you just want to go through the videos, it's really you see me do the same thing every day. Right, it's just the difference is it's just the market conditions, right? You just have to understand the market and understand what it's doing today, right? Because everything is fractal, right? What I look within a 30-minute could be within a daily time frame, right? This whole thing can be on the daily time frame, this accumulation, manipulation, and it does. Look, let's look at, oh sorry, this is gold, but let's look at the indices. See how all this is an accumulation here? You have that manipulation. Clearly, it's still a little weird because we're still technically within this range here, right? So this is a failure swing, and it's very close to this one. So that's why I'm a little sketched out that this could just be either a retracement to continue lower to attack these relative equal lows here, right? That's something just to keep in mind. I'm not saying it's going to do it, but currently right now, it looks like it's forming into that probability. Like I said, that's why I'm just staying on the sidelines for the indices, because clearly I'm not too sure what it wants to do next, if it's willing to continue going higher, because clearly it's only going to be bullish once we are able to close above this consecutive series of down closed candles right here. That is the change in the state of delivery. That is the manipulation leg that formed this reversal. So once we're able to close back above here, then we can anticipate back all-time high. But till then, this is all just like, in a way, assumptions that we're trying to continue going higher, right? So just gotta be patient. Nice. So we have this SMT, this fair value gap right here, possible SMT right here. Under 5 minutes left for this for the New York Open. Like I said, with New York Open, I would want to see this starting to expand. Like, there's no need to retrace at all. Like, we're near the draw, so that's why I'm at break even, because it's one, if it's gonna act like one of those days before the high impact news, it's just gonna like either like retrace deeper and then somewhat reach the draw later on, right? So I'm not really gonna just wait for that. At the end of the day, I'm at break even. If it comes all the way down there, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what else to say, right? Like, I'm not gonna let my trade go back into drawdown just to assume that it's gonna go back up higher, right? It's already halfway up to that draw. Why would it not reach the draw within this 930 expansion candle, right? Which clearly we all know what 930 does, right? You see some large candles happen or form at 930 open, right? So especially because if once you're aligned with with structure, you can always anticipate those 930 opens to what's the word, to favor in your idea, you know, the idea that you have, right? You just have to make sure if you already have that manipulation forming before that driver, right? That's key. You always want to make sure that you have that manipulation already formed with a possible change in the state of delivery and your reversal confirmations for this for the 930 to actually form for you. So yeah, it's just it's really breaking it down and just really understanding price action. That's honestly what it is. It's just structure. It is just all structure, guys. All those confluences like S&T, PSPs, balanced price ranges, all breakers, all that's just all added stuff, right? But once you look at structure, well, breakers and stuff like that are part of structure, because clearly, like, you could see how, like, we had a balanced price range up, down, right? So this is all considered balance. You have this breaker right here, right? So you have this change in the state of delivery right here. So it's all added to that to the whole structure thing, right? Once you are able to understand structure and what it's doing and anticipate the phases of price, then everything becomes much easier, right? Phases of price is very key, guys. That's something that I would have you all understand a little better, is phases of price after we hit specific key levels, right? After like a previous day's high, what is it going to do? Are we going to consolidate? Is it going to reverse? Is it going to fail to manipulate to continue going higher? Those are things that you should always be asking yourself at specific key levels. It could be inefficiencies or swing points, right? Those are the only two that I look at. So just under 1 minute, let's see if this can expand. 10 seconds. We want to start seeing this expand. If we can get this nice change in the state of delivery, I would move my stop loss above here, to be honest, because there's no need for this to come back lower here. We filled this inefficiency, right? So this should start expanding here now. Like, I would want to see this starting to expand, you know, because if we start to stagger here and just start to like move sideways, then it just becomes more low probability for me, and I just don't want to really be engaged in that type of price action. Nice expansion here. Someone messaged me. Oh man, that's hilarious. Let this expand. We want to see this expand. Let's go. Yeah, with gold too, sometimes the move happens within 8 o'clock too. Like, it's a little different with the indices when if you don't really get that manipulation. Well, actually, I want to say the same thing, because if you don't get a manipulation at 8 o'clock, then you're anticipating it to be 9 o'clock. Then same thing, if you don't get it at 9, you're anticipating at 10. That's something key, guys. I just said, so keep that in mind. You want to see the manipulation either at 8, 9, or 10, right? Based off your whole idea, right? Because you always need a manipulation, right? You always need to see that manipulation to confirm the continuation higher after that, right? So if there's no manipulation, then you either have failure swings that are ready to get rated, right? And you might be on the wrong side of the move there for the time being. But that's why, you know, when you sometimes get in too early and you get stopped out, that's why. Let's go gold. We want to see this expand, baby. Silver's moving up nice too as well, so that's good. Let's go gold. Come on. Why is silver picking up and you're not? Let's go. I moved my stop loss here already, so it's a risk-free trade. If If it stops me out, it stops me out in profit, which is okay. Like I said, I wouldn't want to see this retrace back lower here. This should just continue expanding here. There should be no reason for it to retrace any deeper, unless you want to see this getting tapped here. But other than that, this should just continue going higher. Okay, we're getting a bit of a retracement. Yep, okay, that stopped me out right there. So I was able to secure just a small profit right there of 130. I was trying to go for that. My target originally was 365 for the trade idea. So yeah, that was it for this session here. Again, see, I personally would not want to see this type of stuff. This could either just be like a raid at this low, and then we can expand higher here. But just seeing how everything's doing that now, especially after silver taking out that high, right? Again, I'm not mad, because realistically, this is the way I would move my stop loss once we form a 5-minute change in the state of delivery, right? Because realistically, this should have just continued going higher at 9:30, right? But again, low probability today, guys. The day before NFP, structure is not going to be the best, right? And again, you usually most likely see these type of deeper retracements here, so not the best thing to, like, that's what I'm saying. I would not leave my stop loss here and then just see this type of stuff here. So yeah, it's just it's not worth it, guys. You know, it's not worth it. Whatever. I got out with with profit, and that's all that matters. You know, especially on a day like this, I'm perfectly fine. And just me ending it off. Let's see what the indices are doing right now. See, it's retracing back again, lower. So see what I mean? This is nasty work. And look at YM going higher, decoupled right now. Yeah, it's nasty, guys. It is nasty. I'm gonna avoid it. Other than that, guys, have yourself a good day. Stay safe. Like I said, go over this video because I broke it down pretty perfectly and why I took this specific trade. On a better day, this would have played out no problem at all. But again, like I said, day before NFP, low probability, high resistance runs, deeper retracements. So yeah, expect these type of things, guys. But overall, have